Aliens, the Chinese, Harold's private jet, the pressure building on President Biden to come clean to the American people and explain what the heck is going on in our skies. The U.S. military shooting down a fourth object, making it 3 unidentified objects that have been taken out in the last 3 days. The first one was that Chinese spy balloon. The White House can't seem to get the story straight, but don't worry, at least it's not E.T.
There is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns.
I don't think the American people need to worry about aliens with respect to these craft, period. I don't think there's any more that needs to be said there.
A lot of growing questions, but as usual, the Biden White House, not a lot of answers, and don't expect to hear from the president.
We have not yet been able to definitively assess what these most recent objects are. We don't know what this exactly looked like, and again, we're still not sure exactly what the purpose of it was or who owned it. We're going to learn more. I'd rather not go into any more detail than that. We're sort of in uncharted territory here, no pun intended. But we don't know. I won't speak for the president's personal speaking schedule, but I mean, he has been deeply engaged in every one of these decisions. He's been kept informed.
And Biden's silence isn't just worrying the American people. A bipartisan group of lawmakers is demanding answers.
I have real concerns about why the administration is not being more forthcoming with everything that it knows.
The Biden administration needs to stop briefing Congress through our television sets and actually come and sit down and brief us.
The military needs to have a plan to not only determine what's out there, but determine the dangers that go with it.
I believe the American people are owed an explanation. If they're serious enough for us to send fighter jets out to shoot down, then I think it's okay for the American people to know who's behind this.
So if it flies, it dies. And we don't know where these things are coming from or
well, that remember, it only if it flies, it dies only after one was able to go across the United States for a week. And they said there was no concern, there was no problem, and they just wanted to shoot it down afterwards. Well, all of a sudden, then they said, well, we opened our aperture a little bit more, and turns out there's a whole bunch more of these things going up there, which means our radar wasn't working before, or it wasn't. And they have left the American people hanging for 3 days. And then to condescendingly blow them off when somebody says, is it aliens? Like, well, how are we supposed to know? Like, logically, I've never believed in UFOs or aliens. But if you don't tell anybody anything, and then you're going to sit back and go like, oh, these people, they're so silly. You're so ridiculous. How could you possibly believe that? And make fun of them? I don't like that. I don't think that was a good look.
It's not an alien. It's just an unidentified flying object, Greg. And Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, for people who don't know, he had a big statement. Let's listen.
Yesterday, NORAD confirmed that an unidentified object entered unlawfully Canadian airspace. It represented a reasonable threat to civilian aircraft, so I gave the order to take it down.
Oh, the aliens are scared now.
He's a regular Churchill. He just went, he said, I want that weather balloon out of our space. Let's take it down, boys. That was a moment of heroism I won't soon forget. You know what? He probably thought there was a trucker in there.
You're right.
You know, I heard that well, anyway, I won't make any more jokes about him. They're shooting down our old stuff. That's all this is, right? There was a couple of years ago, it was reported that we had all these surveillance balloons going around. It was in The Guardian. I think what this is like, you're right. They're trying to prove that we aren't weak and we aren't vulnerable. So now we're just going to shoot everything we see. And it's a very expensive way of getting rid of old surveillance balloons. I don't know how much a missile costs, but I mean, isn't it like $1 million a missile? It's a pretty expensive way to get rid of your trash. And it's basically space trash. But I loved how he had to get, let's be honest, he had to get permission from the United States. It's like, is it okay if I get to shoot one down? Please, Daddy, will you let me shoot it down? They go, okay, you can shoot one down. I can't even do it in blackface.
Mexico's going to probably shoot one down. Hey, what about me? Judge, what's going on here?
You know what I think is amazing? That the president has said nothing, okay? So the American people, and by the way, I want to say, I don't believe in the UFOs either, but there is apparently a number of UFO sighting between March 21 and 22, 247, mostly reported by the Navy and Air Force pilots, okay? I mean, there is something. That's why they had to deny it. But here's the outrageous part. Why do people in Congress, why are they not sitting down with the president? Why is the president not talking to America? Why is he not? Look, if he's got such verve and so vibrant with the commander-in-chief, get the hell out there and talk to us. All right? But more than that, General Kellogg today was talking about how low the soldier morale is, given the fact that nobody knows what they're doing. And as Dana said, they opened the aperture and now, oh, geez, there's more of these things. But think about what they said last week with the one that crossed across the country. These are quotes. We used the time to analyze it. We did. And we knew where it was going. We did. So then why did you take it down over the ocean where you can't get part of it because it's too low? So now they're hovering over these with their maneuverable spy craft, a strategic command center in Nebraska, intercontinental ballistic site in Montana, to improve targeting information or to intercept communication. Now, the question now is, what is the protocol? I asked for this on Friday. Is the protocol to shoot everything down? Do we know what we're supposed to shoot down? And now are we so connected to China that trade is the best it's ever been, and we've got all these codependencies where we rely on our medication from China that we can't disconnect from them. Is that what this is all about? That Biden's afraid to come out and say something? And then Austin comes out today, an hour ago, and he says, our policy hasn't changed at all. What are you talking about? Our policy was never to shoot this stuff down, which is why you let the one hover across the United States. They're totally caught off guard. They're reactive. They don't know what they're doing.
Jesse, no one's asking the big question.
What's that?
What's an aperture?
We're going to find that out afterwards.
You don't know what it is either, do you? She said it first, and then she said it. You don't know what it is.
You know what an aperture is, Greg?
What?
Yes. It's a bad call at the end of the game. It ruins a perfectly fine defense. What is an aperture?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll say this. I think that the president needs to come before. I said from the outset.
It's an opening.
Right. I mean,
just say opening then.
It's a domain awareness
gap. It's like on a camera. The aperture gets bigger. You know that.
We knew that. We were just saying if you knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The president should come before the country and give a briefing. It doesn't have to be a classified briefing. You're hearing Democrat, Republicans alike. I think the country wants to know. Lawmakers are entitled to know as well. And for whatever reason, they've decided not to do it. If you don't do it, you obviously invite theories, as some far-fetched, some more believable. But I think it's incumbent upon the president to do that. Two, Judge, you're right. The geopolitical, there are two strands of this, I think two big strands of this China relationship. One is geopolitical, which is becoming increasingly disconcerting. The other is how intertwined and dependent we as consumers and U.S. firms, banking, retail, et cetera, are on China. At some point, those two things are going to collide, if not already. And as we think about a 21st century Cold War, they are our Cold War adversary, but they're different and more formidable than Russia because they're richer. They're smarter, they have better technology, and frankly, their avowed purpose for the 21st century is to be the dominant nation in the 21st century. They see that we were the strongest in the 20th. They want the 21st, which is why I was hoping last week President Biden would not only have addressed this in the speech, but might have even gone as far as to outline a Biden-China doctrine. He needs to do that sooner rather than
the
later.
Biden-China doctrine? It's
or the
just about
Biden
pay
doctrine
Hunter.
on China.
That's all that doctrine
that's
is.
not fair.
Up next.
He's been opening a lot of apertures.
Oh.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know if I should be insulted.
I think that's redundant, by the way. You can't open an aperture.
What's redundant?
Were you good in Latin?
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.